Okay, last video we looked at what variables are, what a string is, and how we can create a string. This video we're going to look at what we can do with a string variable. There are a number of things we can do, but before we do any of them, we have to define a few terms. The first and foremost is the word function. Now, a function is like a small, little, basic, built-in program built into Python that saves us a lot of work. They're little ready-made programs which we can call on in order to do something for us, in order to change a variable, in order to print a variable, in order to delete a variable, in order to do a lot of different things. There are hundreds and hundreds of these inbuilt functions, and one of the biggest challenges in programming is learning which ones are important, which ones one needs, and how to use specific ones of them. Of course, some basic ones you have to know and you gotta remember them. Now we're gonna start off by looking at probably the most basic function in Python. The function, to call a function, to call it from somewhere in the memory in your Python directory, to activate it and to use it in your program, you have to begin by typing the name of the function. We're going to try and print the variable x, or to print hello, onto the screen. To do this, we use the function print. When we write print on the screen, you will notice that print immediately is highlighted in purple, red. This is called syntax highlighting and is similar to the green highlighting of a string variable. If something is highlighted like this, it's a good sign. It means you're most likely calling a function. Now, functions tend to need some sort of information so that they can work, so that they know what they can do, what they have to do, and how they do it. This information is given to functions through something called parameters. Parameters are generally given in a pair of brackets after the name of the function. So we call the function and give the function the information it needs to work, to function. Now, for many functions, it'll be hard to know, but for the print function, it's very easy what parameters, what information the print function needs. It only needs to know what it's supposed to print. And what we want to print is hello. Now, what we could do, we could go here, create a string with the quotation marks, and write hello. Press enter, and hello is printed on the screen through the function, through the small mini program print, which is built into Python. Now, what we could also do, which is a lot faster and a lot more efficient in the long run, is print x, which is already a representation of the word hello, currently uppercase. Now, print, call a function, open the brackets, give print the information it needs. What do we want to print? We want to print x. So instead of writing hello, we simply type x, the variable name, the representation of this variable, which has saved the string, the array of letters hello in it. If we press enter, we get the same result as before, just that this time we printed this variable, didn't have to write out the hello, and we can use this x over and over again, and without having to always write the hello. Of course, when dealing with a single word, this may not be such a significant time disadvantage of writing things out, but on a large scale, in a large program, this makes a huge difference. Now, currently, our hello, the variable, is still uppercase. We want hello to be the title. We want hello to be lowercase. Since we, as lazy programmers, are far too lazy to go back and change the variable and override it like we did above or before, we're gonna use an inbuilt function that's Python already made for us. Now, this function, to call this function, we use something called dot notation. Dot notation looks like this: x dot upper brackets. Now, dot notation is a simple and very effective way of calling functions and manipulating variables. Since the function needs to know what variable it is going to manipulate, we take the variable x dot function name and the parameters. This does not work with every function, but with very many functions, especially those that change or affect the variable itself. The print function only prints the variable and has no direct effect on what the variable is. Therefore it is called, and in brackets it is given the parameter. Whereas here we want to call upper especially to change x. Therefore x is given here before the function is called. This notation, as stated before, is called dot notation and will be a very frequently reoccurring thing in the next few videos. If we press enter, we are returned uppercase because I accidentally wrote upper. Sorry. What we wanted to call was actually the function to make x lowercase. So we go again, x, the variable which we want to change, dot, and now the name of the function, which is called lower. Big surprise there. Parentheses, well, brackets, to include any parameters. This function actually doesn't need any parameters. It already knows what to change, and there's not much else than making the letters lowercase. We press enter, and here we go. Hello in beautiful lowercase symbols. Before we go and print hello in the print function, well, actually we can try it out and then we see what's wrong. If we go print, calling the function print, giving it the parameter x, press enter, wait, it's still uppercase. This has a very simple reason. This function, all it does, it didn't change x, it only created, well, a sort of reflection or copy of x which was changed. It didn't actually change the variable. The variable x is still uppercase. What we have to do to make x lowercase, we have two options. To print x lowercase, we have two options. Either we override x or we print x dot lower, and here we go. X is still uppercase, but what we print is not x, but rather x, the, well, slightly changed reflection or image of x, which has maybe become lowercase, through the function lower. Of course, we can also override the x variable like we've done before and make x equal to x dot lower. Now, the x variable is equal, or should be equal, to this, which, as we've seen before, should be this. So we print x, and x is lowercase. Of course, we could make it uppercase again using the uppercase command, but that would seem kind of useless. A slightly more useful thing is the closely related function is the title function. This is simply making a string, the variable type containing text, formatting or changing it, manipulating it in a way so that it looks like a title, meaning first letter per every word is capitalized. This is simply x, the variable we want to change, dot title, brackets, no parameters needed, enter, and the first letter is capitalized. If we were to have a second word here, the second word, the first letter, would be capitalized as well. This is a useful little thing if you're working on a program. You want your title to be uppercase, you don't want to change your variable, which you need for other things, you only want to make the one instance where it is printed uppercase. This is a useful little thing to know.